Good afternoon, Orange and Amber class. Welcome to today's RE lesson. So today we are going to learn about another of Jesus' special stories with a hidden meaning. Can you remember what they are called? What's that special word? Parables. Good. Okay, so this is the parable of the lost son. We're going to watch the story now.
Stories of the Bible, the prodigal son. This is Jesus,
Heyo!
who is the Son of God and the Savior of the world. While Jesus was on earth, he taught everyone about God's love. He healed many people from their sickness, performed many miracles like calming storms, and even raised people from the dead.
Wahoo!
Jesus taught everyone about God's love. All kinds of people would come to hear Jesus speak, including tax collectors and people who made bad choices. This made the Pharisees and Jewish leaders mad.
Yuck.
They didn't think that Jesus should be around these kind of people. So Jesus told them this story. A man had two sons. The younger son told his father,
Excuse me?
I want my share of your estate now, before you die.
Okay.
So his father agreed and gave his son his inheritance.
Woohoo!
A few days later, this younger son packed all his belongings
See ya.
and moved to a distant land. And there he wasted all his money in wild living.
Huh?
About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land,
Aw, man.
and he began to starve.
Hey, you!
He convinced a local farmer to hire him,
Thank you.
and the man sent him into his fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the food he was feeding the pigs looked good to him. But no,
Do you think that he still feels really happy now that he left his family and took all the money? He doesn't look very happy, does he? And he doesn't look very wealthy anymore. Look how dirty he is. I think he's beginning to change his mind and think about the right choices that he should have made.
one gave him anything. Finally, he said to himself, at home, even the servants have food enough to spare, and here I'm dying of hunger.
I know.
I will go home to my father and apologize and ask him to take me on as a servant. So he returned home to his father. And while he was still a long way off, his father saw him coming. Filled with love and compassion, he ran to his son.
Why do you think his father is crying? He's missed his son, hasn't he? So feels so happy and so relieved and so thankful to see his son again.
Son!
His son said to him, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I am no longer worthy of being called your son. But his father said to the servants, Quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Get a ring for his finger and sandals for his feet, and kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast, for this son of mine was dead and now has returned to life. He was lost, but now he is found. So the party began.
All right, yeah!
Meanwhile, the older son was in the fields working. When he returned home, he heard music and dancing in the house,
Huh? Hey, you!
and he asked one of the servants what was going on. Your brother is back, he was told, and your father has killed the fattened calf. We are celebrating because of his safe return.
Woohoo! All right, party time! All right, yahoo!
The older brother was angry and wouldn't go in. His father came out and begged him,
Oh, man!
but But he replied, "All these years I've slaved for you and never once refused to do a single thing you told me to. And in all that time you never gave me even one young goat for a feast with my friends. Yet when this son of yours comes back after wasting your money, you celebrate by giving him a great feast." His father said to him, "Look, dear son, you have always stayed by me, and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate this happy day. For your brother was dead and has come back to life. He was lost, but now he is found."
Okay, so that was the parable, The Lost Son. Let's have a think about that story. So there was a father and 2 sons. The younger son, we call him the prodigal son, took his father's money and spent it all. When all the money was gone, the prodigal son came home because he was starving. The father was so happy to see his son that he gave him presents and a party. The older brother was feeling jealous of the presents and the party. So the prodigal son took his father's money, spent it all, then came home because it was all gone. Do you think that that was a nice thing to do? Do you think that was a good choice that he made? Are you surprised that the father was happy to see him? Maybe discuss these ideas with your adult. So the father was so happy to see his son after a long time that he did not care about what he had done. Why was the older brother angry that his brother was given presents when he came back? The older brother had stayed at home and worked hard. He was jealous that his brother got presents when he had not behaved very nicely at all. So can you see the hidden meaning in this story? So Jesus is talking about forgiveness. Have you heard that word before? Forgiveness. Do you know what forgiveness is? If we forgive someone. So forgiveness is when someone has done something wrong, they say sorry, and you forget about what they did and stay friends with them. Jesus wants to teach everyone to be nice and forgive each other. He also wants everyone to know that if they do something wrong, he will forgive them. He is like the father in the story. So today you've got a little task that you can either just talk about or you can write it down in your home school book if you want to. It's completely up to you. So I just want you to think about these questions. The first one is, can you describe why it is important to forgive? So you might talk about or write, it is important to forgive people because why do you think it's important to forgive people? I've written down some ideas that I thought about. Maybe they didn't mean to be wrong. That's a good reason to forgive them, isn't it? Or maybe they have learned their lesson. Or maybe because we care for them so much, that's why we should forgive them. Okay, the second point that I want you to think about is, can you think about a time when you did something wrong and someone forgave you? Can you describe how it felt when they forgave you? So you might write something like, when I was forgiven, I felt, I've got some words here, my word bank, relieved, grateful, thankful, glad, sorry, or happy. And the third point I'd like you to think about is, can you think of a time when you forgave someone else? How did it feel? Did you feel better once you had done it? So you might talk about or write, when I forgave, I felt maybe proud or special, optimistic or accomplished. think you might be feeling proud of yourself for forgiving someone. Okay, well done. Lots of things to think about there. Super job with your RE learning this week. Well done.